Our top story tonight, a Richmond Hill couple stranded in Israel tonight as violence in the region continues to escalate. Their flight home canceled, leaving them sheltering near Tel Aviv with no clear way out. WSAV's Isabella Baez spoke with the couple about waking up to sirens and living in a war zone.
We're supposed to come home tomorrow, but our flight got canceled about 2 or 3 days ago. We received a note, no flight. Stay tuned.
Sitting ducks. That's how Brian and Yael Schumann of Richmond Hill feel after their 3-week-long trip to Israel got extended with no clear end in sight. The couple say their trip was beautiful and everything they could have hoped for until Saturday came and changed everything.
Sunrise, I guess. Yeah. We were awoken with sirens. Wasn't even on the phone at that point. It was just sirens. And the people we were staying with, they told us they heard airplanes flying out a couple hours earlier. And so our welcome to the war was Saturday morning.
The couple say they knew there was a slight possibility that something could happen, but calling the trip long overdue, as it has been over 20 years since they've come back to Israel. So they made the decision to go.
We saw the missile trail, but it seemed far away. So my first response was, okay, this isn't really here. And then when they were intercepted and the explosion and the sound and in the car, we could feel the car bump, we could feel it shake. It could be 20 miles away, but these things are powerful.
The Schumanns say they've had to evacuate into their safe shelter multiple times a day. And when they go out to get food and necessities, the streets look different from how it was when they first came.
You can feel it, it's palpable. People will go out and do what they have to do, but only for as quickly as they can.
With no return flight available, the Schumanns say they will continue to stay with family, but are ready to come back home to their lives. Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The Trump administration says it is working to arrange charter flights and help Americans secure seats on commercial flights that are still operating. As the conflict continues, many here at home are watching closely. WSAV's Danielle Cobb spoke with Lowcountry military families about their concerns and how they're coping with uncertainty.
When conflict starts to rise, military spouses begin preparing for what they call the unknown. It's a mix of emotions and a waiting game on if their partner will be deployed to the front lines. But in those moments, they say they often lean on each other.
Creating your family, and that's what we do.
It's an unspoken bond among the sea of United States military spouses and families across the globe. In times when their fighting men and women are sent off on orders or assignments, they turn to each other to make sure they're never alone in tough times. Local Marine spouses tell me that bond exists strongly here in Beaufort through their local support groups and volunteer initiative Private Peppers, which gives spouses a duty of welcoming young Marines into the family with love, food, and community, a way they keep themselves grounded when their Marine gets called to orders.
Finding your community and really diving first into that community so that you have support when your spouse is not around is so important.
When my husband's not home, I know that I still have something, and I still have this group that we go out, and it's become everything to me for these young Marines to know that they are part of something much bigger.
While none of their spouses have currently been deployed overseas, they're still left with the unknown, anxiety, and a whole other mix of emotions. But they say no emotion will top the pride they feel for their partners and their choice to step onto the front lines. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
As tensions escalate between the U.S. and Iran, we are now seeing the impact hit drivers here at home. Gas prices climbing across the country. The national average rose 9 cents overnight, according to AAA. In Georgia, prices jumped even more, up 11 cents. Experts say the spike is being driven in part by rising global oil prices as conflict in the Middle East creates uncertainty in energy markets. Crude oil, which makes up more than half of the cost of gas, is now hovering at a level we haven't seen since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war. Experts say prices could continue to rise in the coming weeks, especially as demand picks up and refineries switch to more expensive summer blend fuel. New tonight, more lawsuits have been filed after the mass shooting at Willie's Bar and Grill on St. Helena Island last year. Morgan & Morgan announcing today they have filed 3 additional lawsuits on behalf of victims on the October 11, 2025 shooting. The victims in these cases include one person shot 3 times in the chest, another shot in the jaw, and one individual trampled during the chaos that followed. The shooting left 4 dead and several others hurt. The new lawsuits name Willie's Bar and Grill as the defendant, alleging that the business overserved alcohol to the suspect, 27-year-old Anthony Freeman, in violation of state law. This latest filing comes after previous lawsuits were brought by victims Zendaya Clark and Quinetta Clark, both of whom were hurt. The cases are now moving through the court system, and lawyers say they expect more victims to come forward. Developing now in Pooler, police investigating a murder-suicide near an Amazon warehouse. The investigation began around 5:45 this morning at the loading dock on Triple B Trail. Earlier, police spent about 30 minutes searching the semi and collecting evidence. What they found there led them to a Godley Station Boulevard apartment where the suspect was later found dead. At this time, police have not released the names of either individual. We will bring you updates as soon as new information becomes available. New developments in a case that has haunted Coffee County for nearly 16 years. The GBI has arrested a man in connection to the murder of Sandra Robinson. On March 17th of 2010, she was then 32 years old. She was working at the prepaid superstore on South Madison Avenue in Douglas when she was stabbed and killed. Today, authorities say they have arrested 58-year-old Willie James Jr., an associate of Robinson who frequented the store, charging him with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault. James was booked into the Coffee County Jail. Our crime and safety report now. We are following up on a shooting that happened in the 1200 block of East 33rd Street in Savannah. It happened yesterday. Today, Chatham County Sheriff Richard Coleman and the Savannah Police Department took to the streets, meeting residents and sending a clear message that crime will not be tolerated in their neighborhood. Sheriff Coleman led a joint patrol with Savannah Police, walking the streets near the scene of yesterday's shooting. The sheriff says the effort is more than just show, it's a commitment to community. He vowed that anyone involved in violent crime will face justice and that the department will continue to invest in the safety and well-being of residents, young and old.
Real, this is not a show. You know, I am out here, we have boots on the ground, streets back, and we're sending a different message. You're going to send us one message, but we're going to send you a different message, which is the right message, that crime cannot reside here in Chatham County.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff Coleman says patrols like this are part of an ongoing effort to restore safety and trust in the community. He encourages residents to come out to show support and to help take care of each other. A man in Hampton County is back behind bars facing a long list of drug and weapons charges after a new search warrant was issued. 51-year-old Brian Hayes was arrested by the Hampton County Sheriff's Office after deputies searched a home on Ram Road on February 20th. You can see the drugs and weapons seized in the photo. Hayes is now facing multiple serious charges, including trafficking meth, cocaine, and crack, possessing fentanyl and LSD, and several firearm-related offenses as well. Authorities say this is not the first time that Hayes has been arrested at that same home. Back in May of last year, deputies executed another search warrant there, seizing drugs worth more than $50,000 at that time. A possible transit strike in Savannah is raising concerns for thousands of daily riders. Chatham Area Transit says it has issued a formal notice to members of the ATU Local 1324, warning that a potential strike would be illegal under Georgia law. The agency says the union may be preparing to strike any day now. Officials point to state law that prohibits public employees from taking part in work stoppages. Transit leaders say they're taking precautions after a previous sick-out by paratransit drivers last November, and they want to ensure service continues without interruption. CAT leaders say they're committed to working with union officials and encourage riders to check for updates as the situation develops. Our military report now. Students at Groves High School in Garden City got an up-close look at life in the Navy today without ever leaving their campus. The U.S. Navy brought its Strike Group mixed reality experience to the school this morning, giving students a hands-on look at careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. Through virtual simulations, participants navigated aircraft carrier flight decks, piloted F-35 jets, and explored humanitarian missions around the globe, all designed to show the variety of Navy career paths and the teamwork behind every operation.
Of course, yeah. So the military, we offer loads of opportunities and career opportunities, career paths per se. So we're just here to give information. Some have different interests, but we have a lot of jobs in the military. So.
The Navy says events like this aim to inspire the next generation of STEM professionals and maybe even lead some students toward the service's $180,000 ROTC scholarship opportunities.